hope all of you are well. I am Rizwana Mukhtar, lecturer, Department of Physics, Milestone College. I welcome all the students of class 9 in our today's virtual class. In our today's class, I am going to discuss about your chapter 2, which is motion. So let's start our today's class. Students, today is the first class of your second chapter, which is motion. So to describe motion, we have to know about rest. Actually, whatever we see around us, it's either at rest or at motion position. If you saw a building, then you can say that this building is at rest position. Why it's at rest position? Because that building is not changing its position with surrounding with respect to time. On the other hand, if you see a car is moving, then you can easily say that it's a motion position. Why? Because the car is changing its position with respect to surrounding with time. So if you want to define rest or motion, then we can say that if an object does not change its position with respect to its surrounding with time, then that object is at rest. And motion. Motion means if an object changes its position with respect to surrounding with time, then we can say it's motion. There are various types of motion around us. You can easily differentiate it. The motion of a car in a straight line or the motion of fan. You can see that the car is moving in a straight line. On the other hand, if you observe the motion of a fan, then the motion of fan is in circular path. I am going to discuss about the various types of motion. First type of motion is linear motion, the simplest motion. Linear motion means if an object moves in a straight line, then this motion is called linear motion. Car moving on the road is the example of linear motion. Now, second type of motion is rotational motion. The second type of motion, which is rotational or circular motion. Another name of rotational motion is circular motion. So circular motion is such type of motion when a body moves along a circular path, or we can say that if a body moves in such a way by keeping the distance unchanged with a particular point, then that type of motion is called rotational or circular motion. And the example of rotational motion is motion of an electric fan, rectilinear or translational motion. I think all of you saw the march of soldiers. When they march, you can observe that they travel the same distance in the same time at the same direction. Here you can see I mentioned three things: same distance, same time, same direction. So what we can say that rectilinear motion or translation motion is such type of motion if an object travels in such a way that all the particles of the body of that object moves in the same direction at the same interval of time and in same direction. This type of motion is called rectilinear or translational motion. Our next topic is periodic motion. If you saw the motion of hands of clock, then you can easily understand periodic motion. There you can see that the hands of the clock moves the definite path in the definite direction and definite interval of time. So we can say that if the motion of an object such that it go through the definite path in the definite interval of time, then that type of motion is called periodic motion. So you can confuse between rectilinear motion and periodic motion. Actually, in rectilinear motion, the object travels same distance in the same direction and in same time. But in periodic motion, the object travels the same path in the same direction and in same interval of time. That means after a definite interval of time, it will rotate in the same path again and again. Okay. So the example of periodic motion is the motion of hands of clock or the motion of earth around the sun. So periodic motion, it doesn't mean that it will always in circular way. Periodic motion can be in circular way, rectilinear way or elliptical way. Okay. Vibratory or simple harmonic motion. Here you can see that I draw a simple pendulum. When the pendulum starts to move, then you can see that it starts to move from rest position and half in a definite direction and another half time of its motion in just opposite direction. So say that if a body executing periodic motion in such a way that it moves half time in a definite direction and other half time in the opposite direction is called vibratory or simple harmonic motion. And the example of vibratory or simple harmonic motion are motion of simple pendulum or motion of strings of guitar. Our next topic is scalar quantity and vector quantity. In your previous class, you have already learned about the physical quantities. That is, anything that is measurable in the world is known as physical quantity. And on the basis of or on the consideration of direction, these physical quantities are divided into two parts. That is, scalar quantity and vector quantity. Suppose you want to measure the mass of an object. Then if you say that the mass of an object is 5 kg, then anyone can understand it clearly. On the other hand, if any person asks you that what is the location of your house, and if you say that my house is 5 km away from my school, then that person may be confused because 5 km away it will be either in east, west, north, in which direction. But if you mention it clearly that my way east from my school, then that person will understand it clearly. So here you can see that in one case magnitude is just enough to express the quantity. But on the other hand, when you want to describe the distance of your house or the displacement of your house, then here magnitude and direction both are needed to express this. So we can say that scalar quantity. Scalar quantity means the quantity which can be expressed fully by magnitudes only is called scalar quantity. Mass, length, time, these are the example of scalar quantity. On the other hand, vector quantity. Vector quantity means the quantity which needs both magnitude and direction to express fully is called vector quantity. And the example of vector quantities are displacement, acceleration, velocity, force, etc. Now I am going to describe few comprehensive based questions regarding these topics. Now comprehensive questions. Our first question is, all vibratory motions are periodic, but all periodic motions are not vibratory. Explain. So to explain it, you need to know the definitions of vibratory motion and periodic motion. We have already discussed about it. You know that vibratory motion means the motion where an object moves in such way that on the time period of its motion it moves half time in a definite direction and another half time just opposite direction of previous one. But in periodic motion, an object moves in such a way that it travels a definite path in a definite interval of time and in definite direction. So here you can see that the object which execute periodic motion may not travel in such a way that it passed half time in a direction and another half in just opposite direction. But the object which executes vibratory motions always follow the same path and the time interval of its motion is same. So we can say that all vibratory motions are periodic motion, but all periodic motions are not vibratory motion. Now our next question is, no rest and no motions are absolute. All rest and all motions are relative. Explain. You know that whenever we want to describe rest or motion, then we have to consider an object or surroundings with respect whom we can describe that an object is rest or at motion. But absolute rest or absolute motion means whenever an object is at rest with respect to an absolute rest object, then we can say the object is at absolute rest. Or when an object in motion with respect to another absolute rest object, then we can say this motion is a absolute motion. But in this universe, nothing is at absolute rest. As you know that our earth is moving around the sun. On the other hand, sun is also moving around the galaxies. So there is no absolute rest body with whom we can consider a absolute rest or absolute motion. So we can say that all rest and all motions are relative. There is no rest and no motions are absolute in this world. Third question. Question is, motion of the hands of a clock is a periodic motion. What do you mean by that? As you know, third question, and the question is, motion of the hands of a clock is periodic motion. What do you mean by that? From the definition of periodic motion, you know that if an object moves in such a way that it travels a definite point in a definite direction in the same interval of time, then that type of motion is called periodic motion. Now, if you consider the motion of hands of a clock, then you can easily understand that every hands of the clock crossing the same path in the same interval of time. So we can say that the motion of the hands of the clock is a periodic motion, as the time interval and the direction of hands of the clocks are same. So that's all for today. Thank you for being with me. Stay home, stay safe.